We're here with Frank Mirahmadi, legendary race caller, uber talented race caller that can actually, a lot of people don't know this, but you can actually call races in just about any, even my voice.
I'm actually better calling races in other people's voices than my own, Jonathan.
I believe that. I've heard it, so I know. Frank, you're out here calling races at Santa Anita, Breeders' Cup. Look at the backdrop. Well, we're facing the other way, but unbelievable place. What's it like living the dream for a race caller?
It's very important to me, and it's very fulfilling, and it's very humbling. It's just one of those things that it's a reminder in life to always go after your dream and to never think you're out, because until it's official and until it's all over, nothing is defined. And so I'm just so grateful that the road that got me here was such a strange one. But it was one that required a lot of hard work and a lot of dedication and learning from the best of all time, Trevor Denman. I have his favorite poem up in the booth over here that he occupied for 3 decades, called "If," and it's a very succinct and simple poem, and it just basically, in a nutshell, tells you to keep the blinkers on and keep the noise out. And what I do on a daily basis is I celebrate winners, and that's to do it in my favorite location, which is actually my favorite place on earth, not even racetrack,
right,
is really mind-boggling, and it's something that I could have never dreamt of, but it's something I worked hard at, and I am enjoying the moment, and I try my best every day to reflect back on days when I was here as a kid, or coming with my best friend, or convincing people in high school to drive me here before I had a driver's license, things like that. And it's something that I enjoy on a daily basis. It's a labor of love for sure.
Well, I think that oozes from you. And my last question, you kind of answered already with the blinkers on, but from a gambler's perspective,
Sure,
and a bettor's perspective, calling a race, and I don't know if this has ever happened, have you ever almost lost it down the stretch, calling the horse that you wanted to get up or needed to get up? And
it's funny you mentioned that. When I was at Hialeah, early in my career, it was probably my first season, my boss at the time told me there was a horse, and in fact, it just came to me. Her name was Ostrova, O-S-T-R-O-V-A. She was 6-1 on the morning line. And my boss said to me that day, "Hey, by the way, this horse can run." The horse was dropping. Steam is great for me. Right. Most steam is terrible. But steam is good with first-time starters, comebackers, and droppers. Okay. That's when you can get a little edge. So I looked, and the horse was dropping in. I'm like, all right. So I made a few dollars investment on the race. And I remember the race call. Now, keep in mind, it was early in my career.
Right.
And I was just trying to get her up. And they're coming to the quarter pole, and my call at the quarter pole, there were 3 across the track, and she was right behind them. And I'm like, they come to the quarter pole, and Ostrova needs racing room. They straighten up, Ostrova still needs racing room. So I was so biased, and it was so obvious. And then she ended up getting up and winning. But I remember in that race, Michael and Nick Petro had a horse. I remember their stilts vividly with like red and green and yellow.
I remember.
And they were circling, and I needed that horse for one of my exactas or tries, and I was just looking all over the place. I was so unfocused. And at the end of the day, the way I walked toward the elevator at Hialeah was right by my boss's office, Rick Sacco. And I walked by and I said goodbye. And he goes, "Oh, Frank, did you get a chance to bet that horse today?" I said, "As a matter of fact, I did." He goes, "No kidding. The whole world knew."
Right.
So to answer your question, I do everything in my human power to not bet on these races that I'm calling, because here's the thing. Even the best of handicappers are going to be wrong 7 out of 10 times.
Right.
I've come to find that this is one thing in my life that I thoroughly enjoy. And my boss at Hialeah, the late, great John Bernetti, told me that he liked my race calling because he said, "You're enthusiastic without bias. Keep it that way." And it's important because even if I bet a race you would never know,
right,
I would know. And I don't want to go back in time and think back like, wow, in that big cap, I wish this horse would have just got up. That's ridiculous. So in the end, there are plenty of opportunities at other tracks. I call it simul-torture instead of simulcast. Keeneland in New York and those other venues that can be watched and bet on. But over here, my job is to be pure and to celebrate objectively and to get excited about whoever wins. And there are people, including my doctor, has told me at times, "I know you bet that horse." I'm like, "No, doc." I just get excited because my job is to identify the winner.
Well, now with the Apple Watch, don't get one of those because they'll know, because your rhythm will go up.
Exactly. They can see the blood pressure,
exactly.
Right? Exactly.
So, thank you, Frank, man. All the best. You do a phenomenal job. I don't think there's anybody who doesn't love and appreciate your race call.
I appreciate your kind words. Thanks for your support.
Thanks.
Everyone begins in horse racing with exactly the same thing, a dream. It doesn't matter who you are or where you come from. That dream is what unites us.
She's running the race of her life, and she's up to take the lead.
But what truly sets us apart is choosing to make that dream a thrilling reality.
And Spiced Perfection wins the Grade 1 La Brea.
At Dare to Dream Stable, we've been on a relentless mission to breathe life into those dreams for our partners for over 20 years.
Here's the wire Mooncat.
Our track record speaks for itself. We've excelled at turning dreams into reality
And bolted to win.
at the most reasonable price points in the
In the
industry.
winner's circle is Dare to Dream Stable, LLC.
So the question is, do you dare to dream? Join us in racehorse ownership today.